Hi there, it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a full face of Pat McGrath makeup because I have been very inspired by the article I read in this month's Allure Magazine. This is for February 2021. Pat McGrath is on the cover, which is a big deal because I believe she's the first makeup artist on the cover of the magazine. She is a star all on her own, and it was really cool to read about her personal life and her sort of story and how she came about. It's really interesting because I don't think I've seen anything written about her, her story, and so it's really neat to learn what she's like. So we're doing a whole look We're doing a whole look of Pat McGrath today, and I honestly have so much Pat McGrath in my makeup collection and I haven't used it in a while, so this magazine gave me a good excuse. I really recommend picking this up. I'm a subscriber of Allure anyway, but if you see it out in the store when you're checking out, pick it up. It's a good read, honestly. Like, it's gonna make you feel inspired. Especially if you're kind of in a slump and you need some motivation. You'll find out that Pat McGrath is a workhorse and she's very involved in everything she does. She is very detail oriented. She is very involved in her brand and what she puts out there on the runway and in photo shoots. She's just, someone you want to be. So I have a couple of pictures from the magazine for inspiration, and a lot of them are very pink. So I want to use the Divine Rose 2 palette, the pink one, on my eyes today, just because I was very, inspired by the pictures. And this is one of my favorite Pat palettes. I'm sure this is not the first video that you've heard that. A lot of people love the Divine Rose 2. This is the Divine Rose 1 if you're curious. Also, I wanted to use that palette again because she's essentially relaunching Divine Rose 2. She has a whole new collection, but the palette is essentially the same. So if you haven't picked it up, it's coming out again. You want to see what it looks like, now's a good time. So I don't have, as you know, Pat doesn't have everything available in every makeup category. She doesn't have brows. She doesn't have blush. She has foundation, she has concealer, she has powder, she has under eye powder. I have the concealer and under eye powder. I don't have the other complexion stuff. I do have her highlighter palette. And obviously I have the eyes, I have eyeliner, I have lip pencils, lipsticks, lip glosses, so we have pretty much a full face. So I have my favorites from Pat that I really like, the formulas that I really like, that I will share if you are curious about picking up anything else from her website besides eyeshadow. I, of course, over anything else, recommend her eyeshadow formula, especially in the big palettes. I really recommend that, but it is out of a lot of people's price range. So she does have quads, she does have singles, so there's a lot of options. Okay, so we're gonna start with a primer. I think Pat has a primer, I don't have it, but we're using the Victoria Beckham Augustina Spader primer. I'm using the golden version, and I'm trying to try this out with every foundation I own to see if it improves things. So as I said, I don't have a Pat foundation, but we're going to use the Surratt Dewdrop to see what that looks like with this primer. I just did one pump. It gives you a little bit of a plumping effect. You can see the golden isn't that golden. I just look red. So this is the Dewdrop. I have shade number 3, and I'm gonna put this on my palette like so. Sponge it on. I also do not own any Pat brushes. I know some people are like diehard Pat fans. They have like every single product that she puts out. I am not quite there. I will pick things up that are interesting. But as far as her new collection, the Divine Rose like continuation collection, I'll call it, I didn't really see anything that spectacular or interesting that I'm probably not going to pick anything up. There is a new quad that looked pretty, but honestly it wasn't that outstanding that I feel like I need to get it, especially since I already have Divine Rose 1 and 2, big palette, but I don't think it's going to be my first quad that I'm going to get. The new highlighter looked a little dark for me, so I won't be getting that. This foundation is very easy breezy. I think I need a little bit more on my forehead because I'm, I don't know, extra pink today. Getting back to the article, there is not a lot of personal stories about Pat in the public. She even talks about her Instagram and how she didn't want it to be about her. She wanted it to be about her makeup vision. And so that's what it's about. You're not going to see any really thing personal about Pat. There's no, I don't even know if there's that many pictures of her on there. So she's very private, and she just is so busy, she just doesn't have time for an interview, and she just doesn't want to make the time, which I totally understand. So I'm moving on to the concealer. This is the Skin Fetish Subliminal in L6. This concealer is a workhorse. A lot of people really like it. It gives you a lot of coverage. It's not my favorite because it's not the right color for me. It's a little yellow. But it's also a little bit dry because it's more full coverage, but it's nice. Nice glass bottle. So with her in this article, you finally get like a little more insight in how she started out and her process. Like I have heard that she brings like tons of makeup to her shows on a plane in like a million different suitcases, and she just brings everything because she never knows what she's gonna need. And they have a picture in the magazine of all the suitcases. It's crazy. I think though, and with her level of creativity, you have to be a little bit nuts and meticulous about what you bring to the table, and that you always want to be prepared. So she has everything all the time. So next I'm going to use the Sublime Perfection blurring powder, and I have it in the lightest shade, which is very white. And you really just need a little bit of this to set your concealer. You just pat it on. And if you really want to avoid a dry under eye area, you want to be really careful about how much powder you put on. So just a little bit, probably even less than what I put. Alright, so concealer and foundation is down. Everything else is going to be powder based, so I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I don't have her setting powder, but I'm going to be using the Chantecaille loose powder in light. But yeah, she works really hard, and she looks really pretty on the cover. She's always seen in black, so I'm not surprised her cover look is in black with the black headband that she always wears. And I love to learn like how funny she is and how people like rely on her humor to get through things. Because I haven't heard her on her Instagram live, and that's when you really get to see her personality. And she is really funny character, like just very lively and full of energy, which I really like. So really cool article, gotta check it out. Alright, moving on, just going into the makeup now. Alright, so we have powder down. bronzer. She doesn't have a bronzer. That's another product that she does not have. So I'm going to be using the Sicily Phyto Touch bronzer, Sun Glow Bronzing Gel Powder. Only comes in one shade. I just picked this up and I'm loving the sheen that it gives my skin. It's really pretty. Just a little hint. It's really hard to overdo this one. Now for blush, I'm going to dip into one of her Mothership palettes. And it's gonna be the palette that I use on my eyes, which is the Dividers 2. And there's like a peachy shade in here, and a lot of people use this for blush, this one right here. So that is what I'm gonna use on my cheeks. I just realized I don't have that other light on. Whoops, sorry about that. Alright, a little more blended out. Onto highlighter. I've had this for a couple years now and I still use it all the time, especially with my Pat McGrath looks. And I love mixing these two together. She has come out with a couple like single highlighter products, but the colors of those haven't really appealed to me as much. They always look like not the right shade, but I like the palette. Alright, doing a little bit of eyebrows. Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel, just a quick fill in of my sparse brows. You know, I wonder why, do you guys ever wonder why like Pat doesn't come out with like a full line of makeup? But you know, she has a million eyeshadow launches. I think her focus is really on the eyes, but she seems to throw out some beautiful skin too. But I think it's funny she doesn't have a brow product, but I don't know. I don't know that brows are really her thing, maybe? Who knows? Alright, just a quick little brush through. Alright, so complexion is done. Now we're gonna move on to the eyeshadow palette. So I want to do something very pink based on that photo in the magazine. So we're gonna go in hard into this pink shade here and just start with that. Oh yeah, so pretty. Now if you're this far into the video, thank you. If you don't get the hype of Pat and you want to learn more like why people love it so much, I think Pat has just sort of that legacy that she's created, and that she always turns out amazing, beautiful, creative, different looks. And so for many years people have been begging her to start her own makeup line. So she finally did it. And people like knew her name. If you know, follow makeup for many years and makeup artists, she's very famous. Some of you that weren't following that, you're like, who's this Pat lady and why is she so popular? Why is her stuff so expensive? Why is it always sold out? Why does it sell out instantly? You know, you don't quite understand it. Well, she had a following before her makeup came out, and when it finally did, it's like, oh, I gotta get it. And she made it kind of that FOMO exclusivity by like having it launch at a specific time and creating that moment of I need to get this before anyone else does. And it's worked really well so far. I mean, some people hate it, but I mean that a lot of brands are doing it now. Like, she's not the only one, because it works. It does leave people out, but I mean, I think with her in reality, like if you have followed her makeup website long enough, you'll realize if I don't get it on the first launch date, Usually it's going to be on sale later and I can pick it up later. Now, there's some products that don't go in stock that often, sell out quickly. They're super, super limited edition that go for lots of money. That kind of stuff you do have to get right away, otherwise it may be gone. Other things that are part of like her core collection, not limited edition, there's gonna be some sales and times that you can pick things up. So yeah, just remember, it's just makeup. If you don't get it now, you'll probably be able to get it later. So we're very pink right now. I'm gonna dip into our multi-chrome shade, trichrome, whatever you want to call it, chromatic shade, and we're gonna go on top of the pink, just a metallic moment. Very fun. One of the highlights of this palette. I want to see more of these shades from her. I would love to see a whole palette from her in this formula, because it's really easy. Like, it's not the most incredible shift. Indie brands really do that really well. But for a mass-produced kind of eyeshadow palette, this ain't bad. And you know, it's easy to work with. You can see I have a little bit of fallout, but overall I'm happy with her formula, because I think it's easy. Some of you, if you don't have a good brush, may find her eyeshadows to be a real challenge. And you'll see YouTube videos of like, oh, Pat McGrath's formula is overrated. I wouldn't say that. You definitely, I think you should use natural hair brushes with it, good quality brushes. I think her stuff's really effortless. But if you, it all depends on what you're used to working with. You have to adapt to every eyeshadow formula in terms of how you apply it. Each shadow you're going to apply slightly differently. But I am a fan. I'm going to go in this middle shade underneath my lash line. The only thing with me, with Pat, that I'm starting to get a little bit, not annoyed, but I'm like wanting to see something really new from her. And we've done the Divine Rose train. I'm a little disappointed that we're doing that train again, but I probably would expect that some of this collection kind of being relaunched again is probably because of the whole COVID situation. Hopefully totally new stuff is in development, gonna come out in 2021. That's just my guess. That's my hope. Because I'm ready to move on from the rose. I think it's been played out. I'm sure it's been her most popular, one of her most popular launches. I think the pink people love. But, you know, I'm ready to move on. I think a lot of us Pat people are. We're a little bit over it. Okay, so I want to do one more color on my inner corner, and it's going to be this really flashy shade here. Now this looks nothing like the magazine, but I was just inspired by it to use this palette and use the pink. If I really want to copy the magazine, I go way pink and a lot of gold. But that's not what I wanted to do, so I think Pat's palettes are fun, and this is a really fun palette. And really beautiful, a little bit dramatic. I think her makeup is for people that love to play with color, love makeup. If you are the kind of person that just puts it on to put it on to cover up some stuff on your face and maybe highlight your eyes a little bit, enhance your features a little bit. First of all, I don't think you'll be watching any YouTube beauty videos if you're not really into makeup that much. If you are into makeup, you probably watch a ton of YouTube. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, if you are not into color, you're not into being really creative with color, I don't think Pat really is gonna speak to you, except for those of you that like luxury makeup and packaging. I mean, this packaging is amazing, right? Like, just beautiful packaging. You can't really beat it, and it's heavy, it's good quality. So, you know, in that sense, like, this is a luxury makeup brand. Maybe like her stuff in that aspect. But for me, it's like the formulas are good. Now, not everything she has across the board is my favorite. Like, her liquid liner dries out really quickly. I wasn't a fan of the foundation. I had a sample. I tried it. Didn't like it that much. I think her lipsticks are good. The packaging have had multiple break on me. The lip gloss I really like. The lip liner's good. The mascara, so-so. I think mascara is just a really tricky product to formulate to get people to like really like it. I have the Fetish Eyes. I like this. I haven't tried the newer one, the Dark Star, but anyway, you know, I think overall I'm pretty happy with what she puts out. Okay, so I'm going to use the black eyeliner that she has, Extreme Black. If you want to get an eyeliner, I would get Black Coffee because I think that's like her top seller of eyeliner colors. And anytime I go to buy it and there is a sale, it is sold out. So if you can get your hands on Black Coffee, which I believe is like a dark brown, I would pick that one up. I also wouldn't mind getting her dark blue pencil eyeliner. So the only one I have is black, which is good. It's a good one. The liquid liner, I don't know if the cap isn't great or it's just dried out really quickly. Which, yeah, it's not a cheap liner, so I didn't really appreciate that, but that can happen with liquid liners. Alright, that is all the eyelining I want to do. And on to the Fetish Eyes mascara. I don't mind this one. The more I used it, the more I enjoy it. Some people really hate this one. Some people prefer the new one. It's such a personal thing because of the type of lashes you have. It's really gonna inform you whether or not you're gonna like certain mascaras over others. So I have pretty short lashes. I need volume and length, like I need everything. I just like how quickly this builds everything up. I know like some people prefer to build up their lashes in really thin coats really slowly. That's not really me. So I'm more likely to have a thick clumpy lash because I don't want to put in the time. But I like a little bit of volume. Do I like length? Yeah, but I usually don't get length out of a mascara that well. If I do, it usually just flakes and breaks off. Alright, I think we're good on mascara. Onto our lips. So I want to do a really fun pink color that I like never wear because it's really loud. It's a bright pink. It's called Beauty Junkie, and I have done a video with this lipstick before. I think it's actually my thumbnail lipstick I'm wearing. So this is a bright one, but I just want to have a little bit of fun. I only have one lip liner, Suburbia from Pat. It's kind of a rosy pink, a little on the warmer side though. So I think her matte formula is nice. It's not like super matte like you would think it would be. Now that I've tried Lisa Eldridge, I prefer her formula over Pat, but Pat is still really good. And she has more colors, I believe. I don't know what's going on with her lipsticks though. I saw, so Pat, part of the new Divine Rose 2 launch is there's a liquid lipstick, which is new, which I'm curious about, but I'm gonna hold off buying it until people review it. But yeah, I think her lipstick, at least the packaging, looks the same, which I'm disappointed by because I want her packaging to change on her lipstick because I've had issues with pulling off the cap and pulling out the whole component. Like, it doesn't quite work right. But whatever, I'm not the only one that's complaining about that. Alright, that is the Beauty Junkie shade. So this isn't the matte formula. I'm such a dingbat. This is luxetrance. So this is the satin. That's why I didn't feel that matte. I am so smart, dumb sometimes. Okay, so I do want to do a little bit of a gloss. And I have her Lust Gloss and Astral Flash Dance. This is like our super sparkly formula. Has some blue and purple. If you want to be a little more sophisticated, don't do the gloss with this color, but we're having a little bit of fun. Alright. I want to do some setting spray because I'm feeling a little bit dry. I don't think Pat has a setting spray, I just realized that. Yeah, I don't have any of her brushes, just because I don't know that they're that remarkable from anything that I already have. I believe they're synthetic, so, you know, there's a lot of different synthetic brands out there. So I'm using the Glow Recipe Watermelon Spray. I know, that's a lot. I'm trying to go through this. Like, people say they fly through this. This is taking me forever. Probably because I, like, don't do makeup as much anymore, like, day to day. And oftentimes that's the one step that I'm gonna forget to do. Okay guys, I have completed my Pat McGrath look for you all. I hope you are enjoying this very pink inspired Divine Rose inspired look. I'm happy with it. I think it's a very wearable pink on the eyes. I of course love the multi-chrome shift going on that kind of goes green a little bit, and you know, it goes with the lips. I really enjoyed this look. Let me know if you guys are interested in picking anything up from that's new in the Divine Rose collection. I don't know what they're relaunching it as, what it's called, but if you're picking anything up, comment below. If you have never picked up anything from Pat McGrath before, are you picking up anything from the collection, including any of the eyeshadows? I think if you are new to Pat, you love pink, but you also love experimenting and having fun, there's a lot of really great shades in here besides the bright pink. I actually prefer the other shades more than this one. Like, all of these are really nice. Even the sparkle is really good. I think this is one of her best palettes to pick up. My second favorite would probably be Bronze Seduction, the 5th palette. Alright guys, this is my Pat McGrath look. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please click on the thumbs up button. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.